Unlock the secrets to growing perfect, vibrant bell peppers right in your garden. From seeds to harvest, master every step of cultivating these culinary gems. Welcome to today's Explainer, where we're going to dive into the art of growing Campeche bell peppers.
Seriously, picture it for a second. Those crunchy, juicy, vibrant red bell peppers just sitting there on your kitchen counter, right from your own soil. Sounds amazing, right? But as you know, achieving that kind of culinary perfection, well, it takes a bit of science and some really structured care. It's not just luck. Here's our roadmap. We're going on a complete chronological cultivation journey today. We'll hit number 1, the secrets of perfect kambi. Number 2, climate and soil requirements. 3, growing healthy seedlings. 4, watering, fertilizing, and care. 5, disease and pest protection. And finally, number 6, harvesting, storage, and tips. Let's jump right in. Section 1, the secrets of perfect kambi. So kambi peppers, scientifically known as Capsicum annuum variety rotundum, are absolutely legendary for their incredibly sweet, thick, fleshy walls and super rich vitamin C content. But before you even touch a trowel, you have to choose your cultivar. It's like picking the foundation for a house, right? You've got the classic Bulgarian rotund. This one's perfect for traditional pickling because of its thick 5 to 7 millimeter walls. Or maybe you're going for sheer size. In that case, the Bacher Giant is definitely your go-to. I mean, this variety produces massive fruits weighing up to 270 grams, literally huge. Choosing the right genetic starting point here is what dictates your entire growing timeline and, ultimately, your final culinary use. Section 2, climate and soil requirements. Now, if you want that massive, envy-inducing harvest, we need to get real about the environment, because these peppers, they are incredibly demanding. The absolute most crucial metric here is the number 3,000. That represents the minimum active vegetation temperature sum in Celsius required from May all the way through October. Basically, if your growing region doesn't rack up at least 3,000 degrees of active heat over those months, your kambi peppers just won't develop normally. Your fruiting will be severely limited. End of story. You literally have to treat these plants like sun worshippers. Look at these specific constraints. Optimal growth happens in this really tight pocket, exactly between 18 and 25 degrees Celsius. If it drops below 12 degrees, boom, growth halts entirely. They just shut down. Plus, they are highly sensitive to shading. Too much shade causes stem etiolation, meaning they're going to stretch out trying to find light and become super weak. You're also going to need 10 to 12 hours of short daylight and well-aerated sandy loam soils packed with humus. Oh, and keep that soil pH perfectly neutral, right between 6.5 and 7.2, with moisture at about 70 to 80% field capacity. Section 3, growing healthy seedlings. Okay, establishing a robust seedling early on is your absolute, non-negotiable secret weapon for a huge harvest. Seeds naturally have this hard outer shell, and they go into a state of physiological dormancy. So, to snap them out of it, you gotta follow a pretty strict, scientifically backed protocol. First up, give them a hydrothermal soak between 25 and 30 degrees Celsius for up to 24 hours. To really kickstart the process, add some biostimulation by soaking them in a liquid biohumus solution at a 1 to 50 ratio. After that, plant them exactly 1 to 1.5 centimeters deep. And check out this highly specific substrate recipe. 5 parts peat, 1 part biohumus, 1 part perlite, and 1 part vermiculite. Maintained under a polyethylene film at 22 to 24 degrees, this guarantees rapid, totally uniform germination. But hold on, you can't just throw those pampered greenhouse seedlings straight into the outdoor soil. No way. You must put them through a mandatory 14-day hardening off process to toughen them up. It's like boot camp for plants. For days 1 through 3, give them just a couple of hours of shade and wind protection during the warmest part of the day. By days 4 through 7, bump that exposure up to 3 or 4 hours of filtered sunlight. Finally, by days 8 to 14, they should be outside 24/7 with minimal watering. Doing this transforms those fragile indoor sprouts into field-ready powerhouses with thick stems and deep, strong roots. Section 4, watering, fertilizing, and care. All right, so with our hardened seedlings safely in the ground, and obviously we're doing this well after the spring frosts, we have to master soil moisture. Now, the watering strategy completely shifts depending on the plant's life stage. Early on, from planting to fruiting, you're only doing 2 to 3 deep waterings, spaced out nearly 2 weeks apart, about 12 to 17 days. Why? Because you actually want to stress those young roots lightly so they dig deep into the soil searching for moisture. But the second that mass fruiting phase begins, you flip the script. The plants now demand constant, shallow hydration. We're talking 8 to 12 waterings at short 6 to 8 day intervals just to keep up with their peak daily water consumption. Now, you're going to want to pay close attention to this agronomic warning. It is such a common mistake to overfeed peppers with nitrogen. It makes sense, right? You think more fertilizer equals more peppers, but actually excessive nitrogen is incredibly destructive here. It triggers this massive overgrowth of leaves at the absolute expense of the fruit. Plus, it severely weakens the plant's natural disease resistance and causes severe blossom drop. It's a disaster. Instead, you want to feed them small, highly controlled doses. Ideally, integrate this directly into your irrigation system to avoid shocking the roots with salt. Section 5. Disease and pest protection. Look, even with absolutely perfect watering and feeding, your plants are going to face some fierce enemies out in the field. First up is blossom end rot. Understanding the specific disorder is absolutely vital. If you start seeing these nasty sunken black spots on the bottom of your peppers, it's not a fungus. It's actually a desperate cry for calcium. See, when the plant goes into heat shock, which usually happens when temps spike over 30 degrees Celsius, or if your watering is erratic, the plant's stomata close up to conserve moisture. That reaction completely shuts down the transport of calcium to those rapidly growing fruit cells. So what's the fix? How do we bypass a transport block down in the roots? Well, we bypass the roots entirely. This therapeutic scheme relies on foliar feeding by spraying liquid calcium mixed with amino acids, like Fortical, for example, directly onto the leaves. Those amino acids carry the calcium straight into the fruit cells. You'll want to do this 3 to 5 times every 10 to 15 days. Oh, and also use organic fertilizers to activate the soil microbiome to release locked calcium. Just remember the golden mixing rules. Only apply when it's cooler than 25 degrees outside, and absolutely never mix your calcium spray with phosphorus, copper, or sulfur, or you're going to cause a bad chemical reaction. Beyond the physiological stuff, you've got vectors to worry about. The harsh truth is that viral diseases in plants are incurable, so your only real defense is systematically controlling the insects that spread them. Aphids spread cucumber mosaic virus, thrips spread tomato spotted wilt virus, and cicadas spread stolbur. You have to aggressively manage these pests using targeted systemic insecticides. And crucially, you need to clear out any surrounding weeds up to 10 meters away from your crop, because those weeds act as safe havens and hosts for these insects. Section 6. Harvesting, storage, and tips. All right, let's move to the most rewarding phase of the whole process. The key takeaway here is knowing exactly when to pick your peppers based on your specific culinary goal. You basically have 2 stages: technical maturity and botanical maturity. If you want a crunchy, moderately sweet pepper for a nice fresh salad, pick at technical maturity. That's when it's full-sized but still deep green or maybe waxy white. But if you're after maximum sugar, peak vitamin C, and that gorgeous, vibrant dark red color for canning or making traditional lutnitsa, you really must wait for botanical maturity. Also, quick pro tip here: always remove deformed or diseased fruits immediately. You want to conserve all the plant's energy for the healthy ones. Just look at this incredible number, 6,000. That is the staggering potential yield in kilograms per acre that you can achieve. If you leverage modern hybrids and stick to the high-level agronomic practices we've just outlined today, hitting this level of massive productivity is entirely within your reach. It's not a pipe dream, it's just applied science. And once you actually have that massive yield, you're going to need to store it, right? Here is a traditional, absolute game changer of a long-term storage secret. When you can or hot marinate your cambi peppers, seal them immediately with heated metal caps and then turn the jars upside down for a full 24 hours. This slow cooling inversion method creates a perfect hermetic seal. More importantly, it locks in that signature cambi crunchiness without destroying those delicate, heat-sensitive vitamins. As we wrap up this explainer, I do need to leave you with a quick professional disclaimer. Everything we've discussed provides a really robust scientific foundation, but agriculture is fundamentally a local science. Always adapt these practices to your specific local climatic conditions. Strictly adhere to your regional regulations regarding pesticide and fertilizer usage, and never hesitate to consult with local agronomic experts for tailored advice. So, considering everything we've unlocked today, it really begs the question: is a bountiful garden simply a product of good luck and good weather? Or is it a calculated science of managing microclimates, nutrients, and biology? Think about that as you plan your next crop. Thanks for hanging out with us, and until next time, keep growing.